Thank you.
Yeah, so gratitude is the one. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. I think when it comes to manifesting, I have to say this, and every personal development person on the planet says the same thing. This is not new, guys. I'm not going to blow your hair back with something, so leading edge. It's the simplest thing that everybody says, but I must be honest, 2% of people practice this.
Got a good day coming, and it's all I need. Everything I wanted is in front of me. Stuck it up.
Welcome back to another episode of the Coaching Corner. I'm here with my wonderful co-host Nancy, and today, what are we talking about, Nancy?
Today we're talking about manifesting 101. I think it's a great topic, and I think we can just see what works, what we've tried, what's worked for us, what works in our classes, and of course, manifesting is easy if you just do the basics.
It's absolutely true, and I've been training the Silver Method now for about 9 years, and Nancy's attended the class how many times?
28.
28 times. So she's heard it, I don't know how many times. And the Silver Method, which is SILVA, is all about manifesting. However, even myself, I had to study this to become a trainer, I teach it all the time. Even myself have to come back to the basics. When I forget the basics, my ability to create consciously with kind of expected or consistent results tapers off. But if I just come back to the basics, it just takes off. It honestly, it happens more quickly than you can imagine.
Yeah.
So what are we going to begin with today? What shall we share first?
I think basically, what is the law of attraction, right? We have a lot of people say, what is it? It sounds so complicated. Is there some magical sort of thing that I have to do to get it? And really, the law of attraction is very simple, very basic. You're the expert.
So there's a few definitions. The one you could say is you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. And I think it's whether you want it or not that people need to become self-aware. That when you're worrying, when you've got negative emotion, when you're feeling a bit stressed, when you get angry, if we're not aware that we're in a negative state, you're just going to create more of that because you get what you think about and more what you feel, whether you want it or not. So I just want to also say that the law of attraction is actually a secondary law. It's more like a marketing term. The primary law is the law of vibration, which is physics. And
Yeah.
I love it when it's physics because no one can really argue with it. And it's never going to change. And you're not unlucky or lucky or no one else is unlucky. It's consistent for anyone. All you've got to do is the principles we're going to share that have worked for us with consistency, and you will get the results. So if you're in a bad place right now, or if you feel a little bit stuck, or maybe you've had a bit of financial loss recently, or a relationship's not working, or maybe you've got illness in your body, whatever it may be, I just hope that this particular episode gives you a huge amount of hope, because if you just have the self-awareness and practice what we're going to share with in this podcast, myself and Nancy today, you will turn a corner and start going in an upward direction.
I want to say one thing. When we are in that flux, that state where we're really upset or we're angry or frustrated, please understand. I mean, look, we all get there. I was there last week, so it's not such a bad thing. However, being there is also okay because you know where you are and you have to feel what you're feeling. The worst thing you can do is just
deny.
Yeah, and say I'm okay, whatever. Feel what you're feeling and process and work through that. And as you process and work through that, you go up the emotional ladder. Now, if anyone is a fan of Abraham Hicks, and we both are, I listen to her every morning. Thanks, Jay. Because Janine got me onto that. If you are a fan of hers, she talks quite often about going up the vibrational ladder. So if you are at anger, frustration is really good because that's the next thing going up. And after frustration is, maybe you just feel, what is the word I'm looking for?
Maybe bored.
Yeah, or
Overwhelmed.
irritated or something like that, overwhelmed, and then you're going up, you're further going up. As long as you're going up and you're not going down. And one of the other things that she says, when you're in that state, the best thing to do is to do one of two things:
Sleep
and meditate.
Yeah.
Because you can't think of it, you can't attract anything when you're in those states, right?
So just a very quick example, what Nancy was talking about, if you're in a state of, let's say someone's close to you has passed on, and you're in a terrible state of not even grief, maybe even lower than that. It's that feeling of being totally helpless because the person is gone and there's nothing you or anyone can do to bring that person you love back. So you feel really helpless. Well, if you get to a state of grief, where you're really now just so sad with this loss, that's actually a better feeling place than powerlessness or helplessness. And that's why in the stages of loss, one of them is anger. So one of the stages of loss is we just get angry. The person's gone. Life's never going to be the same. When you feel anger, you have a sense of relief.
Yeah.
And let's say you're feeling jealous. If you have an outburst with your partner about where they've been and what they've done because you're jealous, once you have that outburst of anger, you feel better because anger is higher up the emotional scale than jealousy. So you get the point. So as long as this is our first point, aware of your current emotional state and do whatever you can to feel better. Now, Nancy has had some interesting challenges. No, which you've shared with me, and she's found in her own life, especially after the last 5 years, the best way to feel better, no matter the circumstances, is not just the one word, it's a particular practice. You want to share the practice?
Yeah, I mean, thank you. Before we get to that, can I just say another thing?
Go on.
I think is really important. The awareness that you're feeling that way is key, okay? Because you can start going down that rabbit hole, you can keep, pivoting towards down, and you can get to the bottom. Now, if you're halfway there, you've got a better chance of going back up quite quickly. But when you are very deep in that hole, you struggle. You struggle to get back out. So awareness to what's going on, to the change, to be willing to move up and get out of that hole is key. So look, one of the practices that I do that I have found over the years has been amazing. I think I've got about, 15 journals full of these things, and that's gratitude. And I recently we've done the work by Rhonda Byrne. If you know Rhonda Byrne, she wrote The Secret, The Greatest Secret, and she also wrote The Magic and lots of other books. The magic, we've practiced and done this practice quite often, Janine and I, we've done it in a group setting, we've done it in our masterminds. But I recently stumbled on Rhonda Byrne talking about magic, and I hadn't picked up the book for maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah.
The Magic. And I picked it up again. It's 28 days, and I finished it, and I'm still doing it. So I've continued the practice, and it is really simple. If you just do this one thing, you can do the whole thing, of course, the whole book. If you just do this one thing, 10 statements of gratitude, either in the morning or in the evening, or both if you've got time, just 10 statements on what you're grateful for. Now, if you understand, if you do 10 and you're doing it for 28 days,
or
longer, how much are you training your brain to just see only that, what you're grateful for? And I have written gratitude for anything. I'm talking about anything. I write gratitude. We're here in Parramatta in New South Wales, in Sydney. We have a coffee shop that is like 2 seconds away from us. I write gratitude for that. That I'm able to come to work.
My pillow.
Yeah, your pillow. I'm grateful for our technical team. I'm grateful for our listeners. I'm grateful for the fact that it's a beautiful day outside, and I get to go outside and I'm able to do that and take a walk, breathe fresh air, freedom. I quite often journal that I'm so grateful that I'm free, and I am. I'm a free person. So that practice brings you up the vibrational ladder. So if you down here and you start sifting, what I call sifting through the files of your mind, what you're grateful for, you will find so many things, and it brings you up the ladder and up the ladder and up the ladder. And before you know it, you're in a really good place. You feel great.
Yeah, so The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, the 28 days, is actually 28 practices. It's 28 practices. And Nancy's, you're so right. The more you do that, you start to see life through that lens. I just want to say this, and I'm sorry if I offend anyone. Well, I'm not so sorry if I offend anyone. I'm hoping you'll receive this with love, because I'm here to help people and not to judge people. Unhappy people are ungrateful. It's as simple as that. I don't want to make it long. I don't want to explain it. I don't want to go too wide. But unhappy people are ungrateful people. And you'll find that the happiest of people, just look around you, look at your friends, look at your family, look at anyone you know. The happiest of people are the most grateful people. So if that's an absolutely proven thing, and there's a correlation between better health and gratitude, between a better immune system and gratitude, between better manifesting, better prosperity, and absolutely 100% for sure better relationships, then it's got to become part of your life. So that's a bit of the introduction, or the first thing I want to talk about with Manifesting 101 is gratitude. I can see you busting to say something.
But by the way, if you don't have time to write 10, write 5. If you don't have time to write 5, write 3. If you don't have time to write anything, from the moment that you wake up and your feet hit that floor, thank you that I'm awake.
Yeah.
And as you walk to the bathroom, thank you that I have got full use of my body. I can go to the bathroom, the toilet. Washing your face, thank you that I have 2 wonderful eyes that I can see. Do you understand the pattern? You don't necessarily have to have a pen and paper and sit there and write, but you do have to have the attitude of gratitude. And you can do that all day. You can really do that all day. I've said thank you in my head 1,000 times. By the time I get home, I've thanked everything. I've even thanked my cat for purring and sitting next to me, and you love me. I mean, who doesn't want that? And I even thank my beautiful co-host over here, who consistently reminds me of, I have a lexicon, everyone. I'm just going to say it out there. I'm going to say it. I have a very special lexicon. I have a way with words. And my best friend there writes these words when I say them incorrectly, and we laugh about it. So I'm even grateful for that, because that makes me feel, I'm humbled, that she thinks of me and thinks I'm funny. So even those things, just the attitude of gratitude, it really does warm your heart. So you're laughing about it now.
No, so I'm laughing because you must be on intuition fire today. I don't know if that's the proper way of saying it. Your intuition is on fire today. I was just about to say, as you wake up in the morning, just be grateful. As your feet touch the floor, I was just about to say, as you go to the bathroom and empty your bladder, so grateful that your body works perfectly, and the whole night you've been, filtering your blood, and you've got the liquid in your bladder now just to easily, release it. Some people struggle with that simple thing that we might take for granted. And as I was thinking, I'm going to say that, you said it. So well done. Your intuition's on fire.
Thank you.
Yeah. So gratitude is the one. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. I think when it comes to manifesting, I have to say this, and every personal development person on the planet says the same thing. This is not new, guys. I'm not going to blow your hair back with something, so leading edge. It's the simplest thing that everybody says, but I must be honest, 2% of people practice this. It's getting clear. Be absolutely clear on what you want. Write it down. Everyone says write it down. Do you know why they say write it down? Because if you write it down, you can see for yourself if you are clear. And the other thing is, once you've written it down, that's the first manifestation. That's the first concrete 3D version of your goal or dream or vision. It's written down on a piece of paper. That's the first version. So get really clear on what you want, and it needs to be very specific. So know what you want, why you want it. Don't worry about how. That's not for you. That's for the universe to bring it to you. You have to know how. You've got to know what you want, and you've got to know why you want it. I just want to say, if you don't know why you really want it, you don't have enough purpose to achieve that goal, and your desire is going to be pretty weak. So everyone knows desire is important, not just desire, but a burning desire. Think and Gary goes so far as saying not even a burning desire. He says an all-consuming obsession. However, you've got to know what you want. So be clear, have a date, describe it in a measurable way, and make sure it's way ahead of your current comfort zone. Don't have these small little goals so close to your comfort zone. It's got to be way, like shoot right up for the moon, because it takes the same effort to manifest this than to manifest this. Big or small, it takes the same amount of focus and effort. So put the right number into your head, and when you feel the feelings, how we're going to teach you now how to feel the feelings and impress your subconscious is the next step we're going to explain. But you've got to first be clear, know what you want, why you want it, and make it a big goal. So whatever you think your goal is, I want you actually to go 2.5 times, maybe bigger than that, and go for that. So when you look at your goal, it looks actually small in comparison. So your mind kind of says, oh, this is actually not as big as I thought. If it's like the only little number you've got is, wow, that's so much more, you're going to think, I can't do it. You're going to be full of doubt, full of fear, and full of indecision. So go 2.5 times and go for that. And then you'll see if you're focusing on that, your subconscious says this that you were going to aim for before, it's actually not that big. It's just how to trick your own psychology. So you want to share how you impress the subconscious?
Yes, I do. Okay. So meditation, well, obviously, I think you need to quieten your mind and visualize. That's really, really important.
Yeah, visualize.
So, but not just visualize as in like I'm thinking about it. I have a technique that I do. Yes, it's a silver method technique, and I like to amp it up even more. So when I'm imagining my life or what I want or a dream or a goal, I'm seeing it, and it's fantastic. It's vivid in color. It's like a movie reel. You know, if you're sitting in a cinema, pretend you're sitting in a cinema and you've got your screen in front of you and you're seeing this goal just come out on the video, and it's fantastic. You're so excited. You're happy. You're feeling the feelings. You're watching this. It's coming alive. It's true. You feeling those feelings, that's changing the chemical reaction in your body, your physiology, how you're feeling about it. And then when you've hit the peak of, my gosh, it's really happening. And sometimes in these moments, I well up with tears because I feel like it's happened. Okay, so then your brain thinks, wow, it's actually happening. I like to stand up from my chair in my movie theater and step into that movie myself, and then be in that movie. See yourself in the movie, not as someone who's viewing it, but someone who's participating in it. And then we have a technique. It's an anchoring technique in the Silver Method, and it's called the 3-finger technique, which Janine will explain in a minute. And I lock that feeling in as an anchor. So every time I want to feel this way, you know, behave or believe anything of this way, I can go back and access that. I can go back and access that feeling. I just put my 3 fingers together and I take myself back there and access the feeling that I've got. That's what's most important. It's your emotions, your emotions. How good can you bring up those emotions, like your brain can say, oh, it's happened. It's happened. I'm feeling this way. It's happened.
Yeah, spot on. Well said. And you sound like you're a Silver Method trainer. in the making there. Very good. Nancy just laughing. I don't know why you think it's so funny. I think you just did great.
No, well, it just comes from experience, I guess.
So if you're making notes, it's not about just visualizing. Nancy's correct. It's visualizing with emotion. So our behavior is driven by our subconscious mind. That's the bottom line. Your behavior. So your behavior gives you your results. So what is in your subconscious mind? Well, what's in your subconscious mind is whatever your results are today. So when you want to achieve this other goal, you've got to change the programming in your subconscious mind, and that's best done with impressing the subconscious. The only way to impress the subconscious, not as impress it like you're so great, as in make an impression, emotion is the only way, is the best way, because your emotional mind is your subconscious mind.
Correct.
So if you're just visualizing or using affirmations idly without feeling, you're really wasting your time. Greg Braden, who wrote The Divine Matrix, he says there's a language of the divine matrix. There is its own language. There's a language of the ether, of the quantum field, of the universe, whatever word you want to use it, this creative web of energy. Its language is emotion, which is E-motion, energy in motion. So when Nancy was saying you're visualizing and then it's a perfect scene and it looks so great, you walk up to the scene, you step into the scene, become one with it, you got to feel it in your whole body. And the minute you feel it, you impress the subconscious. Now, what does that mean? The more you repeat that over and over and over again, you change your subconscious programming. And if you do it regularly, the subconscious says you keep thinking this particular scene that you're feeling this level of wealth and this level of happiness and this level of health and whatever. Well, it's very exhausting doing this. So if you're doing it all the time, I may as well insulate these neurons that are firing this image in the brain. And as you insulate those neurons with myelin, it's called myelin, like a fatty sheath, they become dominant superhighways. And slowly you start to think like that automatically. And whatever in your subconscious, I said, drives your behavior. So you don't really have to, you do have to make some degree of effort, but to achieve your goal, it's not the effort you've been taught to believe. It's not the effort to go out and smash the phone, and do 1,000 to-do lists and emails or whatever. It's to close your eyes and reprogram the subconscious, because once that has been reprogrammed, it drives your behavior and you automatically will see the right things, take the right actions because your behavior is driven from that. But most importantly, you're going to get ideas, and ideas are the first manifestation. So that's your intuition. Your intuition will guide you. You don't have to know how to do it, but you will know how to do it. You won't know now, but when you program your subconscious, you will know how to do it. You don't have to think, I don't know how to do it. You don't have to know how to do it. You will know how to do it. And ideas is how you're going to know how to do it. And you must act on those ideas and act on them quickly. Okay?
Yeah. So I'd say one other thing to kind of wrap up. So we've said gratitude, we've said, visualization.
With emotion.
And I think the last one is just awareness. I think you really need to be mindful. It's so important that, okay, I'm not feeling okay today. Let's not go down and get worse, because remember, as Janine said, you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. That's really the law of vibration. So in order for you to manifest a goal or whatever it is, you need to stay at an okay vibration. And we understand that life happens. Sometimes you'll drop down. Are you aware? Yep, I'm aware. I'm going to bring myself back up. I don't care if you're in the middle of doing something that requires your attention, and it could be even as a parent. I know as a parent many times I've been in a situation with kids and I just excuse myself if they're young kids and they're safe and there's nothing to harm them. Excuse yourself from that scenario and go off, sit down in view of your little child and breathe from your belly, because you can work yourself up, and as you take momentum, it's like the train, right? We start slow and then it takes momentum and then all of a sudden it's going at 100 kilometers per hour and then we're on this train and we can't get off. So it's best to get the train,
slow down,
and do it early. So take the time to do that. Catch your thoughts, catch what you're thinking about, change where you're going with it. Instead of pivoting this way, maybe try pivoting that way. And I have to say to you, when I first started manifesting, I thought it's this major big thing and I must do this, like Jane was saying. When I heard Abraham Hicks talk about it, I thought it cannot be that simple. It's impossible for it to be so simple. The one core emotion that she says that you must try to remain in is what?
Joy.
Yeah. Just be happy.
Yeah. So Hicks even has a song called Joy is the Key. And joy is the key. Now, being aware and self-aware is very easy to understand. I know you understand it. You understand everyone. But to actually practice it, is not as easy as people think. People think I am self-aware. We do love you, but I'm telling you, even myself, and I'm a Silver Method trainer, I could be way more aware. You who work with me every day and we spend so much time together, and we're doing this as our business, we're helping people. We know we could be so much more self-aware. So the other thing about being self-aware is you've got to manage your inner dialogue. When you are sitting and ruminating over something and just like, oh, wasn't that person irritating when they did this and that, and I don't know why they had to behave that way. This C word is called complaining. This C word is called criticism. This C word is called condemning, and it is the cancer of manifesting. It's the C word. So we've got to be very aware that we use the G word, which is give yourself grace and give other people grace and try and stay grateful. So the G is grateful, the G is grace. That just came to me now.
That's very good.
I know, I must thank God for that. G for God, because I didn't come up with it. It came through me. So thank God for everything. Give yourself grace. Give everyone else who upsets you some grace, because let me tell you, none of us are perfect. And when people muck up, sometimes we think, why did they muck up, as if we're so perfect? But we're not so perfect. Everyone mucks up. So give them some grace and just be grateful for everything, even the awareness that you have. And if your awareness changes every day, be so much more grateful than that. And Nancy's right. You can be grateful every minute of the day. I'm grateful to be sitting here having a cup of tea in my coaching corner mug that Nancy ordered. I love this mug. I love it not because it's got my name on it. I love it just because we have our own mugs. Nancy's got a Nancy mug and I've got a Janine mug, and she doesn't drink out of my mug and I don't drink out of her mug. So I don't know what else you want to share about manifesting. You're having a big fat laugh there.
Yeah, I am. I do want to share, if you want to learn more, if you are interested, if you have any questions, we're here to serve, we're here to help. At any stage, you can contact either Janine or I. All our details are below this podcast.
Oh, I want to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually have a course called Manifesting, by the way. It's a 2-day course called Silver Manifesting. You can get Silver Manifesting audio download from Laura Silva Quesada, and she's the person whose content I'm training, and she trained me, and I'm so grateful for that. But that download, which has 11 techniques, has been upgraded, and I train the live class, and 8 out of the 11 of those techniques are completely new, and they're different, and you can't get them anywhere else unless you come to attend the class. So I'll put a link below for that. And also the Silver Method is all about manifesting, and there's the full core foundational program is called Silver Life and Intuition System, 4-day program. And then last but not least, I have to say this, even if you learn all the tools, even if you attend the class, even if you've got all the techniques and know-how, if you don't love yourself, you're going to have a ceiling on how much you can manifest, because you can only manifest in your life to the level of your own self-worth. That's why Nancy and I are facilitators of Love Yourself, Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. So these are the programs that we help people to change their lives, and it does change your life. And if it doesn't, come let me know, and I'll make sure that you have all the value that you need, absolutely, to get what you want. Yeah, you want to say something?
And if you can't attend a class, please come back. We'll have another episode next week, and we're here to offer value. We love you. We think you're amazing. You're doing the best you can with what you got, and we'll definitely see you next time.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.